Welcome to my YouTube channel, and today is the topic discuss the plot of Great Expectations. Now we will start uniform praise for skill in plot construction. Almost all literary criticize praise the skill of Dickens in the plot construction. In the opinion of George Bernard Shaw, this novel is the most compactly perfect book of the novels of Dickens. The plot is well knit, the various themes developed with the woven into a interlocking pattern of intense subtlety. Humor being the strongest point in the Dickens, the never misses an opportunity to introduce this welcome feature, even by introducing a different character for that purpose. A tighter plot contravenes that what is to be found in these earlier novels is a special feature in Great Expectations. Number one is gripping the plot. Surprises, coincidences, and odd turn contribute to the gripping character of any plot. The fact that the real benefactor of Pip was only a convict and not Miss Havisham, as Pip, and through him the reader through thought at first, is revealed as a great surprise. Similarly, the arrogant haughtily Estella proudly displaying aristocratic over-being nature was only an illegitimate daughter of that convict and a woman accused of murder. This also gives an odd turn to the trend of the story. Number two, adverse criticism. There are some critics who decry the weakness of Dickens in his ability to make his plot well knit. Their contention is that Dickens goes on writing pages and portrayals of the external features to their outer oblivious exclusion of the main story. He is accused of leaving a great many threads loose till the last chapter when in a hurry he attempts to tie them into a neat little knot but brings out a miserable lumpy bundle of knots. Number 3, coherent plot in the general expectations. Unlike the other novels of his, Great Expectations can be credited with a superb plot construction. There is comparatively a shorter novel where the author had already foreseen the details till the end and formulated the subordinate features in the precise appropriateness. The opening is very fine and it flings upon our mind's eyes an intelligible picture of the bleak and desolate. And to give us the preparation to receive grimmer and more fearful scenes later on to the same stage. This novel was originally published in weekly installments, and this fact enabled him to watch the movement of the story, taking care not to allow the different threads to slip away from the close grip. Number 4, superfluity and incongruity. The interest of the thinking reader dwindles now and then due to the addition of the superfluous matter not advancing the plot. The chapters dealing with the ill-organized household of the pockets with an absent-minded lady at the head and a frustrated Cambridge graduated lady at the head and children laboring to find out the adequate funds.